If someone is an abusive person, verbally, emotionally, physically, nothing is going to make that change in marriage. Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. You guys, my baby is with me just in case you hear his voice. So I saw a post on Mr. Praise Fowowe's Facebook page, and I think he'll be cool to talk to you guys about it on our channel. And I saw a lot of sense in that post, so I'm just going to read it out to you and then tell you what I think about it. So the first post that I saw, and I'm just going to read it. The passion of one person is not enough to make any marriage work. It takes two to build, hence, no wise woman can build a home a foolish man has vowed to destroy, and vice versa. Let me know in the comment section if you agree with this post. For me, I think this is very true. And first, from the first line, when he said the passion of one person is not enough to make any marriage work. Yes, this is very true. I think there are two things that will help determine if anyone is going to succeed in marriage. The first one is your level of preparation, and the second one is the person you choose to be married to. Right? And I also think this is a biblical principle that says that two cannot work together except they agree. A lot of times many people think that, yes, I can get married to this person, and then, when we get married, I think things would probably change, especially when it has to do with a worldview, issue or perspective issue. And this is what I mean. So if two people who view marriage in two different ways are coming together to be married, I don't think there's going to be a miracle that would happen. For example, the other person sees marriage as, okay, this is something that I know God has ordained and I want to be part of it, and I want to do what it's going to take to make us succeed. But the other person sees being married as fulfilling an obligation, maybe because everyone is doing it in the society, or maybe because their parents are just asking them to go get married and bring someone to be married to. Now they have two completely world view, right, about marriage. And this is going to determine the success of the marriage. So when someone tells me, yes, we're going to get married and, I think things would change, I think marriage does not change people. Yes. The only thing marriage does to people is to probably enhance what has been there as a single. So if the person has been an intentional person, someone who is always wanting to put their best to say things work, when they get married, marriage is gonna amplify that. If there are people who are just careless, they are carefree, they don't care, they are not ready to put in the work, they just probably got married just to fulfill an obligation, then marriage is going to enhance that. If someone is an abusive person, verbally, emotionally, physically, nothing is going to make that change in marriage. Or maybe they are even promiscuous. They are not people who understand, morality, especially in the aspect of marriage, or maybe as a single and they get married, and you expect that when they get married, they probably just stay with you because now it's marriage. No, it's not going to work. Marriage is just going to enhance whatever has been there. Okay, so marriage does not change people. And I know that to be true from my experience growing up with my grandparents. Now, and I'm probably still going to share the story on the channel later. I was raised, at a certain time by my grandparents. And my grandparents, back then have been married, were married. Now they are late for over 50 plus years. And while I was growing as a teenager then, a lot of things that I saw in the marriage was just dysfunctional and chaotic. And even then, while I was living with my grandparents, I never loved to come back home when I go out because it's always one chaos or the other. And I remember asking my grandma, because the major person who was like, the major person who was like the reason why the whole, marriage wasn't working for my grandparents was my grandfather. And I remember asking my grandmother, why did you marry my grandfather? And, she told me, I asked her, did you actually see some of the signs? Because there was verbal abuse, there was physical abuse, there was emotional abuse in my grandparents' marriage. And, my grandma told me that she saw the signs. But one of our aunts told her when my grandfather starts to have children, he was going to be a better person. He was going to change. That having children changes people. And you guys, as at the time when I was a teenager and I had all of these experiences with my grandparents, they already had, I was a grandchild, right? So they had 7 kids together. My father was the first child. So after even having grandchildren, my grandfather did not change. I grew up seeing him to be a violent person. I grew up seeing him to be, just to mention it. So marriage does not change people. So if you are married today, if you're single and there are things that you're seeing in your relationship and you don't feel comfortable with this, I don't want you to think that when you get married to that person, they are going to change. It doesn't work. Marriage only amplifies what has been there as singles. So whatever you're seeing in that relationship today, if you feel comfortable with it, then that's fine. If you feel that you have a doubt in your heart, seek counsel. Don't just push it aside and think that it's going to go away because you get married. No, it doesn't work that way. I have seen very wonderful people and loving people get married to some unreasonable people. And I am like, no, this shouldn't have even happened in the first place. It shouldn't have even happened in the first place. So it takes 2 right people to build a relationship and make a marriage work. That's just it. There is no 2 ways about it. Yes, 2 right people, okay, thinking and having similar worldview, then I can tell you that's going to make a marriage work. And a lot of time when I talk to people, because we have, relationship coaches with people every now and then, and we do premarital counseling. And when we talk to people, one of the things that my baby, another thing that I hear people tell me, or I just hear people talk about is, when we got married, my partner was not like this. Or when we were dating, my partner was not like this. It was a kind person, it was a friendly person, it was a loving person. But as soon as we got married, things changed, and I don't know what has happened. Here's what I say. I think that what you see in the marriage is just exactly what they've been or who they have been. You probably might have been seeing the red flags, but you don't know what to do with it. Or you probably don't know how to interpret the red flags you're seeing, or you just don't know it's something to pay attention to, right? So there is nothing as such that somebody just woke up in the morning and just become a totally different person that you've never seen before, maybe while you were dating, okay? So it takes 2 to build. And if marriage is going to work, the 2 people must have a right perspective towards marriage, and they must be ready to put in the work. Yes, one nice person is not going to make a relationship work. 2 people. to people. Yes. So if you are single and you're considering marriage someday, pay a lot of attention in who you choose to get married to, right? Because ultimately, that's what is going to determine the success of your marriage. Let me know if you like this video. Give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below if you can relate with what I'm saying. Till I come your way another time. Thank you for